Swift, you have to recognize and respect the fact that she is a machine, okay? She is an absolute machine. She will do everything to protect her image.
When you thought the drama between Taylor Swift and Blake Lively had finally settled, another twist surfaced, one that cuts deeper than unfollowing on social media or skipping a birthday party. Taylor Swift isn't just walking away from her longtime friend. She's reportedly preparing to revoke one of the most personal roles she ever accepted in Blake's life, being the godmother to her children. This isn't just another headline in Hollywood gossip. It's the unraveling of a friendship once celebrated as one of the strongest in the entertainment world. From lavish vacations and inside jokes, to cold silences and bot farm accusations, this story is packed with revelations that paint a very different picture of two women once thought inseparable. According to Radar Online, Taylor Swift is preparing to do something almost unthinkable: step back from her role as godmother to Blake Lively's children. Sources close to the singer claim that Taylor feels she has no choice but to draw a line. Their friendship has already collapsed, and she doesn't want blurred obligations hanging over her. That includes the role of godmother. And this isn't going to be handled in a quiet, behind-the-scenes way. Reports suggest that Taylor is already considering issuing a formal notice, either through a mutual friend or incredibly through a lawyer, to make it crystal clear that she is stepping away. It's a shocking development when you think about what that role has symbolized. For years, Blake's children, James, Inez, and Betty, were part of Taylor's narrative. They even inspired characters on her Folklore album in 2020. Fans celebrated this crossover of real life and art, seeing it as a cemented legacy of their bond. But now, that legacy is on the chopping block. If Taylor follows through, she won't just be walking away from a friendship, she'll be erasing a piece of history that fans thought was untouchable. And yet, as surprising as this is, the roots of this decision stretch back months earlier. The cracks in their friendship became undeniable after Taylor announced her engagement to NFL star Travis Kelce. The announcement sent shockwaves through social media. Congratulations poured in from fellow musicians, actors, sports figures, and even distant acquaintances. But not from Blake Lively. Her silence stood out like a glaring neon sign. For fans who had followed their friendship for years, the absence of even a simple congratulations was staggering. This wasn't just any celebrity friendship. Taylor and Blake had shared vacations, celebrated milestones, and included each other's families in their lives. Blake's silence wasn't an oversight, it was a statement. For a friendship that had once seemed so unshakable, this was the moment many realized something was deeply wrong. The image of unity they had carefully curated was shattered in one deafening non-response. But that silence was just the tip of the iceberg. Behind closed doors, the relationship had already collapsed. Insiders began to reveal that Taylor had stopped responding to Blake long before the engagement announcement. Texts went unread, calls were ignored, emails were left unanswered. For Blake, it was like reaching out into a void. She reportedly made repeated attempts to reconnect. Messages were left, invitations extended, but each one was met with silence. And this wasn't just any falling out. Taylor had woven Blake's family into her art. In Folklore, the names of Blake's children, James, Inez, and Betty, were immortalized in song. Fans saw it as a sign of just how deep their friendship ran. To see that connection discarded so coldly made the fallout sting even more. What was once a Hollywood fairy tale friendship had turned into a cold, unyielding freeze. And then legal troubles made everything even messier. While Taylor was stepping away, Blake was stepping into a legal storm. Newly unsealed filings revealed that in a recent deposition, Blake spoke about a supposed smear campaign led by director Justin Baldoni. She claimed it left her terrified for her safety. Baldoni denied every allegation. But here's where Taylor got pulled in. At one point, she was issued a subpoena, dragged into the mess by association. Though the subpoena was ultimately dismissed, the damage was done. The mere act of being named in Blake's legal drama left a sour taste. For Taylor, who values control over her narrative, being unwillingly tied to a courtroom feud was the final straw. And for Blake, who may have hoped her friend would stand by her side, it was another devastating silence. But the fallout didn't just stop in the courtroom. It spilled into their public images, revealing a scandal that shocked fans even more. The next wave of controversy didn't come from court filings. It came from Instagram. Observers began analyzing the social media engagement of Blake and Ryan Reynolds, and the numbers didn't add up. Ryan boasts over 51 million followers. On paper, it looks impressive. But when you look at his average engagement, around 54,000 likes per post, the math paints a very different picture. That equals an engagement rate of just 0.1%. For context, the average celebrity pulls between 1% and 3%. Taylor Swift, by comparison, has a staggering 2% to 3.5% engagement rate. The conclusion? At least 90% of Ryan's followers may be inactive or fake. And it wasn't just Ryan. Blake's 42.8 million followers also raised eyebrows. Her average likes per post hovered between 40,000 and 200,000, giving her an engagement rate between 0.1 and 0.5, far below the norm and far below Taylor's. But it gets worse. Reports claim that even the likes themselves weren't real. Many appeared to come from bot accounts. In other words, not only were followers inflated, but the interactions were too. The analysis suggested that Blake's real fan base could be closer to 1 to 5 million, far from the 42.8 million she promotes. For Ryan, the real number may be closer to 2 or 3 million, not 51 million. And if the bot scandal wasn't embarrassing enough, Ryan's next move only made things worse. Around the same time, Ryan Reynolds took out an ad in the Toronto International Film Festival magazine. The ad declared, "Ryan Reynolds, we like you." It highlighted his charitable work with sick children, describing how he had raised funds, built relationships, and brought joy through visits and videos. On the surface, it seemed heartfelt, but critics weren't buying it. The problem wasn't the work. Everyone agrees that supporting sick children is admirable. The problem was the self-promotion. Printing an ad that essentially says, "Look how nice I am," struck many as performative and cringeworthy. For a couple already under scrutiny for fake followers, this move felt like damage control wrapped in self-congratulation. Instead of repairing his image, it gave fuel to critics who saw him as desperate to remind the world of his likability. And Blake wasn't doing herself any favors either. Blake attempted to promote her new hair product line, Blake Brown, by demonstrating it on an influencer with naturally beautiful black hair. The result? A messy, awkward moment. On camera, Blake sprayed the influencer's hair, promising it would give a morning look that felt natural and sexy. Instead, it left the influencer looking disheveled. Her forced smile said it all. This wasn't the glamorous transformation Blake had hoped to showcase. For someone already facing questions about her authenticity, the blunder only reinforced the image of a star out of touch with her own branding. What should have been a promotional win turned into another moment for critics to laugh at. And if that wasn't enough, the wider Hollywood PR machine soon revealed just how common these image manipulations really are. As the Blake and Taylor feud unfolded, another story made headlines: Pamela Anderson and Liam Neeson's supposed romance. For months, tabloids pushed the idea that the two were dating while promoting their new film, Naked Gun. But then TMZ dropped a bombshell. The relationship was fake, a publicity stunt to sell tickets. People magazine quickly responded, publishing a denial. Sources close to the actors insisted the romance was genuine. But here's the thing, they never actually confirmed that Anderson and Neeson were dating. They only denied that it was fake. Clever wording, but far from convincing. The entire episode highlighted the hypocrisy of Hollywood PR. Celebrities complain about invasive gossip when it doesn't benefit them. But when it's convenient, they weaponize it, feeding stories to tabloids to create buzz. For Blake and Ryan, already accused of manipulating social media numbers and running cringeworthy PR campaigns, the parallel was obvious. This wasn't just about one couple's feud. It was about how Hollywood spins narratives to maintain relevance. And in the middle of it all, Taylor Swift decided she was done playing the game. By stepping back from her godmother role, Taylor is sending a clear message. She's closing the chapter entirely. No blurred lines, no obligations, no lingering connections. What started as a glamorous friendship, celebrated by fans and immortalized in music, has ended in silence, subpoenas, fake followers, and PR disasters. For Taylor, the decision may be painful, but it's definitive. For Blake, it's another chapter of public embarrassment at a time when her career is already under fire. And for fans, it's a reminder that even the most picture-perfect friendships can unravel in the harsh spotlight of fame. So here we are. Taylor Swift, once proudly the godmother to Blake Lively's children, is now reportedly preparing to revoke that title. Their friendship, once a staple of Hollywood's girl squad, is finished. What's left behind is a trail of silence, court filings, social media scandals, PR stumbles, and awkward missteps. The contrast couldn't be sharper. Taylor standing firm, focused, and in control of her image, Blake and Ryan scrambling, caught in scandals of their own making. It's the end of an era, and perhaps the most shocking part isn't that it ended, but how far it fell.